What is up, guys? This is Mr. HDJ, and if I sound a little fucking angry during this, I apologize. This track hearing is the third fucking time I've had to record this commentary because the SHAREfactory software on my PS4 fucked it up twice before. It cut off my conclusion that I usually do for my videos for some fucking reason, and then when I tried to trim off part of it to make it sound coherent so I could re-record the conclusion, it cut off the wrong part of the fucking audio track, getting over everything but the fucking part I wanted to trim. So forgive me if I sound a little pissed off. Welcome back to Grand Theft Auto Online on PS4. That's right, this is Grand Theft Auto Online on PS4. And while you're watching this footage of Grand Theft Auto Online on PS4, and this is me screwing around with a couple buddies of mine on Grand Theft Auto Online on PS4, I'm going to be talking about a couple things. The main one being the first-person mode in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online on PS4, and I'm assuming Xbox One and PC version when it comes out, and why people might ultimately bitch about it and why they shouldn't. I've always said it is the parents' job to not let their kids watch things they don't want to watch or video games they want to play or whatever. Not the video game company or the movie studio or the TV studio or the people that own the video, the websites like YouTube or, you know, the music companies or, you know, whatever. Okay? But yet, it doesn't stop people from bitching about games. Particularly games like Grand Theft Auto. If you've played the Grand Theft Auto series for a long time, I've played since 3, then you know that pretty much every single Grand Theft Auto game in this series has had somebody bitch about it in some way, and I understand it to a point because there is a lot of violence in this game and things like that. It's fine. But at the same time, like I said, it's the parents' job to make sure that if they don't want their kids playing the video game or watching in the movie or watching the TV show or watching the video on YouTube or listening to the music or reading the book or what the fuck ever, that it's their job to make sure they don't do that, okay? Now, in some cases, it's justified. For example, if you've played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, then you probably know what the hot coffee mod was. And that's a different story, because that was Rockstar putting something in the game and then cutting it and then being too lazy to take out the code so that somebody couldn't access it. And what happened was somebody accessed that code, changed a couple lines of code, and made a patch to make it accessible. And if you've played San Andreas and you know what the hot coffee mod was, I don't have to go into detail into that. That is one thing. But the overall thing of people bitching about games in this series could be a little bit ridiculous. It is a mature rated title. There is such thing as the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, Electronic Software Ratings Board. And there is such thing as video game ratings on the cases of these games, and they're there for a reason. And the ratings and the content descriptors on the back of the cases are there for a reason. So that parents can know what might be in these video games, so that they can decide whether or not it's a video game they want their kids to play. Same with movie ratings, video game ratings. Same with movie ratings. Same with TV ratings. Same with those explicit parental advisory, explicit content things on CDs and music things like that. Same with fucking, and that's the reason why there are content descriptors on most videos on YouTube. It's your job to make sure that your kids don't play video games or watch something or whatever that you don't want them, you know, or watch a movie or a TV show or listen to music or watch a video on YouTube or read a book or whatever that you don't want them to play or watch or see. You know, it's your job as the parent. And then on the PS3 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, I would be on there playing, and I would literally hear kids that sound like they were 5 years old. It's a mature rated title. It says M for mature for players 17 plus. Now, it's one thing buying the game for a kid that's like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. That's one thing. But if you buy a game for a kid that's like 10 years old or younger, you can't bitch about what's in it. You bought the fucking game for the kid, okay? You bought the fucking game. You can't buy the game for a fucking kid and then bitch about it. It doesn't work that way. You can't have it both ways, in my opinion. You can't do it. Anyways, like I said, this is a mature rated title. This is a game that's rated M for mature for players 17 plus. I shouldn't hear kids on Grand Theft Auto Online that sound like they're 5 years old, and I'm not sure if there is on the PS4 version. I haven't been in too many public lobbies yet, and the ones I have, you know, I've primarily been on Party Chat. Very useful feature, by the way. Like Xbox 360 had it, PS3 didn't, but you know, it's not that big of a deal to me. Anyways, very useful feature. But see, I don't really know if there's as many kids on the PS4 version or Xbox One version or whatever or the PC version comes out on Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online as there was on the PC version and Xbox 360 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. I don't know that. As like I said, I use the party chat feature. But anyways, like I said, even if, you know, regardless, there shouldn't be anyways. You shouldn't be buying a game that's rated M for mature for players 17 plus for a kid that's like 5 years old anyways. And you sure as hell shouldn't buy a game like Grand Theft Auto, a mature rated title that's rated M for mature for players 17 plus for a 5-year-old or something like that, and to bitch about it. You can't buy a game for a kid like that and then bitch about it. It doesn't work that way. You can't have it both ways. It's rated M for mature for players 17 plus for a reason, okay? Now the other thing I want to talk about is I read an article yesterday that said Xbox One dominates PS4 on Black Friday. However, it then proceeded to say that it was based on 100,000 people, 180,000 people that voluntarily submitted their receipts from various places. Number one, you want to know there are millions of people that shop on Black Friday, just like there are millions of people that shop on Cyber Monday, which was today. And there's a hell of a lot more probably than 100 and some thousand people buying video game consoles. You know, there's probably a lot more than 100 and some thousand people buying consoles on Black Monday and probably Black Friday and probably Cyber Monday. You know, that's a very skewed statistic, and to me, that's not putting very much effort into your article, in my honest opinion. It's just not. It's really not. And I apologize if there's a slight pause in between this commentary. I don't know what the fuck this thing's problem is, but I had recorded commentary to the majority of this video, and when I pushed X to stop the recording, it proceeded to cut it off almost 2 minutes and some worth of commentary track. So it just thinks it's starting to fucking piss me off. You know, I've had to stop and re-record this several times now, which is why I said at the beginning of the video, please forgive me if I sound a little fucking pissed off, because it's starting to really piss me off. Anyways, it's just really shoddy. It's just, to me, that's a real excuse. Just they can put a little more effort in it. Come on. At least use some credible market research, okay? And try not to sound so much like a fucking fanboy of one system or the other. In this case, Xbox. You know? Again, like I said, everybody's entitled to like their own system, and I'm not into this whole fanboy bullshit so much. I'm just saying, you know. Come on, really? Put a little more effort into it than that. That shouldn't be too much to ask, you know? Really shouldn't. Really shouldn't. And again, I mean, maybe it did, but you want to know something? You also have to add something else. The Microsoft cut the price of the Xbox One well, yeah, they cut the price of the Xbox One. Okay, and they're bundling in certain games. You know, and eventually, when you're buying off every game to make them exclusive for your console or times included for your console, because you don't want to compete, you know, that's what's going to happen. This is Mr. HCG. If you liked the video, please leave a comment in the comment section below, or leave a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you also like this, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.